everyone, welcome back to Wolf Woodworking and Laser Engraving. How are you guys doing today? So I actually wanted to do a quick video on some tool maintenance that I gotta perform. Oh wait, my little puppy over here. Do you have to go out? She has to go out. Come here. Hold on, I gotta put the camera down. Hi, but come on. Oh, you're a good girl. Oh, you're such a good girl. Oh, you're a good girl. Sorry, baby talk. There you go. Oops, sorry. Yeah, it was very loud. Go ahead, go out. My precious little puppy over there. Go ahead, go do puddles. Yeah. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I wanted to do some tool maintenance today. So recently my uncle, he's planning on moving and he wanted to get rid of some old tools that he had. So he kind of like went through it. He sent me a picture. He was like, do you need any of these tools? And I'm like, you know what? I don't have my own personal miter saw. And he had one that was available. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. So when I got it, it wasn't in the best of shape. Obviously it's old. It's an old Craftsman one from what I can find, and I noticed that the blade on it was kind of rusty. Now some of you might be saying, well, a rusty blade is still usable, you just got to clean it up. But I was like, you know what, we'll go and we'll just replace the blade, save myself some time and just do that. And she is actually just chilling out over there. Puppy, you gonna hang out here for a bit? All right, so she's gonna hang out there for a bit. I'll come back to see her shortly. But yeah, so that's my plan for today. I'm actually gonna replace the blade on my new miter saw, or semi-new miter saw. Anywho, so I'll leave that door open. So that is the plan for today. Let me get my shoes on too, because regardless of where you are working, you should always have a pair of shoes on so you don't hurt your feet, just in case you end up dropping something on it or stepping on something. Yeah, that's not a fun time. So let's, okay, got the light on. Whoops, almost fell over. So here is the miter saw. Yep. And as you can see, the saw is not exactly in the best of shape. It's rusted all the way around, pretty much on the surface and everything. And I can feel the blade is still sharp, but I was like, you know what, I'll just go and get a replacement blade. I'll keep that blade off to the side just in case like I figure out how to clean it. I never actually cleaned a miter saw blade at all, so I have no idea how to clean it. But I went yesterday and purchased a new Diablo 10-inch general purpose 40 tooth blade, so I'm going to use this for a replacement. So let me carry this upstairs. I might end up cutting this out, but give me a second here. Okay, and we are back. So I got my semi-new saw out here, out in the beautiful sunny day here, and well, I don't know how to take it apart. I couldn't really find a manual for it. The only thing that I have that's written on here is this model number, which again, looking it up, it comes back to a Craftsman, but I honestly don't know. Never replaced a blade on a miter saw, so this is all kind of gonna be a questionable thing here. So let's see, lift this up. Okay, it seems pretty straightforward. So on this side here, you can see, looks like it's just a nut, so that should actually be relatively easy. So I'll grab an adjustable, or I'll grab some wrenches. I got plenty of wrenches. Baby, what are you doing? Being good girl. Good girl. Oh, you're such a good girl. My other big guy, he's sleeping inside. He's always sleeping. And he sleeps until like the afternoon, and then all of a sudden he starts perking up and be like, hey, what's going on? Can we do stuff? Oh. Now let's see here. Aha! A fountain of wrenches. I haven't used these in a while. Yep. Nice old set of wrenches. Now, I would typically use an adjustable, but I'm very cautious about using adjustable in this case, just for the simple fact it doesn't feel like there's much space. So I would rather use a actual set of wrenches. And that's another thing too. I feel like when you're using adjustable wrench, they kind of tend to slip a little bit. When I say slip, they just slip just slightly off the nut every once in a while. And this being an old tool, I'm sure that it's going to be rusted. So I'd rather have something that's really hard and and stiff to actually grab onto it. There's a 1/2 inch. Okay, that's fantastic. How do I... Alright, I did feel it move. Is that a stop? I don't think that's a stop. Not a stop. I think that's supposed to be a stop. I think that's a stop. Okay, cool. Alright, so that's tightened. Jesus. This is more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Though this is going to be a simple, like, 5-minute video. Oh, I did this. Should I just put this down? Try it this way. Get out of the way. Typically it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. Not losing my mind here, right? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So, let's get you on this side. Hold down that. But it feels like I'm just tightening it up. So let's just get that on there. And it's not moving. It wants to kind of like force the whole thing down. Is there another stop? There is. I'm trying the other direction to see if that'll loosen it up. That did. That did loosen it up. Perfect. Let's pop that up. That. Okay, it looks like I got a bit more to do. It looks like I possibly actually got to remove this side cover too. So that means I got to unscrew a bunch of stuff, which I'll grab my screw gun for. So let's actually take a walk back over there. So Again, don't know, I don't have a manual for this, so I have no idea like if I'm doing it correctly. I'm just kind of going by the feel of it. Like, this is my first time ever like kind of dealing with replacing a miter saw blade. All right, I was looking for gloves, but I don't have gloves out here. So like what I'm doing is, you know, pretty much experimental. Now I would be fixing it in my shop, but I have another project that I got to work on in there. So I don't really have the bench space. I am planning eventually, maybe next year, I'm not too sure, about sprucing up my shop. What I wanted to do this year, which I never really got to do, is go and remove everything from my workshop. And I mean, like, completely disassemble my workbench, move everything out, and kind of reorganize it, because I'm not really liking the placement of things. And I realized that a lot of the stuff I have is just storage. So, and I got the screw on the ground. There you go. Screw. So it's just like, it kind of defeats the purpose of me actually holding on to things, you know, because I do woodworking. I used to kind of try to make props at one point in time, but that didn't really work out for me. So I ended up having a bunch of junk just sitting around in my shop now. That's really not needed. All right, so now that we got this opened like so, just take that off. Yeah, you can see how bad it is right now, both sides. Usually rust happens because you don't use the tool, so it ends up sitting around, so it ends up gathering rust. Like, you use it every once in a while, and you just don't end up taking care of it, or you like put it in a bad spot or something like that. So I know, like, with a bunch of my like bits for my drill gun, right, my Phillips and flatheads, they are starting to gather rust because I just don't use them all the time. I literally have like 2 or 3 that I use. So it kind of defeats the purpose of having all those bits. They come useful every once in a while, but not this time around. So pardon me, I'll be right back. Okay, luckily that phone call was absolutely nothing. I keep getting these telemarketer calls. I'm not loving it. So anyway, here is my new blade. General purpose is 40 tooth. I could have gotten the finer one, which actually had 70 teeth, but this will do. You know, I'm just cutting boards straight. I don't need like a nice clean finish to it. So that should go there. Then all we have to do, take this, put that back on there, like so. Now, one thing I'm noticing, and I'm not really liking, this is not really sitting in there too well. There we go. Well, that's a little better. I am bleeding already. Wonderful. That's fine. Okay, there we go. Come on. Come on. Actually, now that I think about it, does that need... I don't think that needs it. I was going to say, does that need grease? All right. This wasn't too bad of a job. What I actually do, I'm gonna tell you guys. This is Craftsman. I don't know if they actually make Craftsman anymore, because it's Craftsman's was a Sears brand, right? What I liked about this set is that you can see here, it actually has a ratcheting end on the side, but you can lock it into place if this one allows me to do it, so it doesn't swivel. So basically, I can go like this, hold down this stick, and go like that, and use this like a ratchet, right? This was actually good. This is actually good for like really tight spaces. So if you're looking for something that's like good for tight spaces, look for something like this. I think Snap-on does have their own brand. Maybe Proto, I think they might have one. I don't know. I never bought any Proto. I bought Snap-on, but it's very specific tools from Snap-on. But yeah, I love this set, and probably will never get rid of it at all. All right, so now that we got that, don't want to lose that. Gotta put this back on. So this went like that. Yeah. Let me at least get one screw started. For me, I find it a little easier just to kind of get the screws started a little bit, so that there's no issue with alignment or anything. And then we got this last one. I gotta tell you, this shield is not really helping me out here. It's actually kind of in my way. But I'm not gonna go through the process of removing it, because that'll probably be a giant headache to deal with. We got one more screw that goes onto here. Oh, it does say Craftsman. How did I miss that? Oh my god. Sometimes you're just losing your mind. Oh, shit. I don't know what side this washer goes on. Assuming it goes like that. So, like that, because I can't get it any further. So I would replace this washer, but I don't have a machine shop, and I'm not gonna go hunting for a single washer either. Okay, it started. I started by hand, so let me just, there we go, up and down. That works. So let's see what else. So now that we got that screwed on, okay. I'm just trying everything out, making sure it's all still working. All right. All right, very good. So what I like about using a miter saw is that it gives you multiple ranges that you can work with when you're cutting, right? And it doesn't have to be by hand. It doesn't have to have an issue. And because if you take a look on here, you actually got a 45 degree range. So all you have to do is unscrew this a little bit, then grab it and twist, and you got all these range, and you can go either way with it, as so. Perfect tool for what I need for woodworking wise. Now the next thing I actually gotta do is actually try to use this. Luckily for me, I do have a project that I have to work on next, which is going to be the next video that I'm going to try to get done by the end of this week, because I'm trying to get this done for Crafts Fair. So let's go get this set up and see how that goes. My dog, my small dog, she is still out here somewhere. She's chilling out in the sun, so she's enjoying the outside. So let me get this set up, and then I can make sure that everything runs okay without trying to kill myself. So be right back. Okay, so we got everything set up. I also got my earmuffs and safety glasses. So here's the boards that I gotta cut. I actually do gotta cut it for a project, so luckily that's what I'm gonna work with. Now they are supposed to be 10-inch boards. Now for those who are not like knowledgeable in regards to like woodworking or carpentry or stuff like that, they're not really 10-inch boards. They're actually like, whatchamacallit, about 9 1/4, a little less than 9 1/4. I don't know why they advertise it like that, like 10-inch boards. No, they're not 10-inch boards, and that's with all the boards throughout the world. They're always kind of shortened, and I think what happened is it's shrinkflation. In fact, I saw somebody on Reddit talking about that, because they were taking apart a old barn, and they these are 10-inch boards, and they put like a tape measure against it, and it was a literal 10 inches. Like, so they're basically charging the same price or a little bit more for a board that's not exactly 10 inches, which kind of screws up measurements, I gotta say. So anyway, so I'm gonna take that measurement, which is 9 1/4 or a little less than 9 1/4, and then I'm actually gonna chop it on here. Luckily for me, it does have a gauge on here already that I could use up to about 10 inches, and this 10-inch blade should be able to cut it through all in one shot. So let's actually get the camera set up. Like so. Put you down here, so you're out of the way still. All right, I think you guys can still see me. So let's take the measurement one more time. This is, yeah, 9 1/4. And typically that would be right there. So let's see if we can do this without wrecking anything. Now I'm going to stand off to the side just in case the blade comes loose. I don't want it to go into my body, which it shouldn't because we have this guard. Okay, it didn't cut it directly across, but it cut enough across that I can get it cut. So let's just go through this, make all the cuts that I need, because I gotta go through this board and then the other board that I have 2 boards, just to make sure that it's okay. So actually I want to make sure to measure this real quick. A little less. So gotta go a little more. All right, with that done, we are good. So yeah, this actually cut fairly well. Now, again, this was not a real 10-inch board. There is no real 10-inch boards nowadays unless you go and like disassemble a barn. So this is like a 9 1/4, right? That's the actual width. So in order for me to actually get an even cut, we have to take that into consideration. Now, if you look down here, I'm going to explain my logic here, which actually does work out for me quite a bit. Let me take my glove off too. If you look down here on this gauge, that tall mark is 1/4, and then that's a 1/2 inch, right? So 1/2 inch, 1/4, and that's an 1/8. In order for me to get that 9 1/4, right, I actually had to go an 1/8 inch higher. So that small mark there. The reason being, and a lot of people kind of forget about this when they're cutting wood, is that necessarily when you use a miter saw or any type of saw, it takes an 1/8 inch off the project. So if you had something measure out to 10 inches, right, and you go and you cut it directly on the line, right, you're gonna be an 1/8 inch off. However, there is exceptions to this. It's all depending on, you know, what you're cutting, how you're cutting it. You know, it's all, hold on, sorry, shaking the camera a bit. It all depends on how you're using it. In this case with the miter saw, since I wanted an actual even cut to 9 1/4, so that they're both so it's even both length and width side, I had to go an 1/8 inch longer to make that cut. And we still had a bit left over, which I'll probably leave over for scraps or on another project if I need to. So now what my plan is to actually glue all this up and actually make some bowls out of it. In fact, that's actually been something that I've been wanting to do on the channel for a bit, to actually start working on my bowls. And I just haven't had the time, but I'm going to make time this week because I am going to be going to another craft fair, and I'd rather have some wooden bowl stock instead of just having some arbitrary laser engraving products, which, not for nothing, they are still pretty cool. In fact, you can actually get a 25% off on the 20-ounce tumbler that's available on my Etsy store if you take a look at the link down below, using the code down below for that. So, and I'll be having more and more sales on Etsy in regards to that whole process. So the next point of the project, obviously I got to glue that up. I'm gonna wait for it, have to wait for that to set. I'm gonna try to get 4 bowls out of it, because I calculated, what was it, like a couple boards each, 6 boards each, so I'll be able to do 3 at most. I don't know, I'll figure that out. But as you can see here, I also want to do this, so I am gonna again make time to do this, as well as the small other ones that I just cut for. In fact, I might do it today. See, the thing is, I gotta also watch my dogs, right? Right now, I'm currently the only one home at this moment. So, and I gotta make sure the dogs, you know, don't pee in the house or anything like that. So I have to be very careful about that. Let me get some stuff out of the way. I'm actually gonna clean up this area so that the next time I'm on here, which should be shortly, I will be good to go. Obviously I got everything set up here, my apron, my face shield. I have obviously my earmuffs. I like those earmuffs, 3M earmuffs, because it has Bluetooth capability, so I can sit there, I can like listen to my music and stuff. So the only thing that I don't like, they don't exactly fit when I have my face shield on. They don't fit well, so it's a trade-off, you know. I could get like smaller, like noise canceling, like earplugs, but those are actually technically worse to use. And I'm not going to go deep down into that, but if you guys want to know, let me know down in the comment section. But otherwise, that is it for today. We know that we have the miter saw that works now with a brand new blade. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. I keep forgetting about this. I keep meaning to do a wood project with this. These are actually my cousin's old drumsticks, right? I got a ton of them, right? I keep forgetting that I got to do something with that. I think I'm gonna try to make a mold out of them, or resin, cast them in resin, so they're all kind of together and kind of like make Christmas trees or something. I have no idea. I got to come up with an idea for that. Unless you guys have an idea, let me know down in the comment section down below. It was nice talking to you guys again. So, and I hope to see you guys next time here on Wolf Woodworking and Laser Engraving. And yeah, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Etsy store. So, bye bye now. Bye.